Hello everyone, this video is being brought to you by Law School 101. I am Oshin Malpani. I had secured AIR 99 in CLAT 2018 and I'm currently studying in NALSAR University of Law, Hyderabad. In this video, we'll be discussing phobias and manias. These will be important in terms of your GK preparation, and these can be even asked in English. So let's proceed with the video. Phobia. First, we'll be starting with the phobias and then eventually we'll move on to manias. So first, we'll be covering phobias. So a phobia is a type of anxiety disorder defined by persistent or excessive fear of an object or situation. So there is an object or some situation or some person which scares you, and this is an anxiety disorder. Okay, so let's start now. First is acrophobia, Acrophobia. Now I have covered only I left out the most obvious phobias like hydrophobia or something like that. I have covered at the end hydromania, but hydrophobia and all that I left out, and also I did not cover the same words. So for example, if you break these words down, so let's say this is acrophobia. Now if I just remove this phobia, it's acro. Now I can add acromania. So mania is an obsession or madness for something. So if I just add mania here, it will be acromania, which would mean extreme liking for heights. So you just go to large heights or something. So that would be acromania, right? So in these words, you can always use this trick. Now if it doesn't really work every time, just try to be on the safe side and remember the word itself. So just remember, acrophobia is extreme or irrational fear of heights. Okay, I've also attached pictures to help these words go into your memory. So let's move on. Next is aerophobia. Now again, aerophobia, if you break this word down from here, so remove phobia, you have aero means air, so you can somehow infer this. So aerophobia would be fear of flying. That means fear of flying. Okay, so similarly, if I attached mania here, aeromania, that means love for flying or maybe madness for flying, obsession for flying. So that's how it works. Moving on, androphobia. Androphobia is abnormal and persistent fear of men. Okay, so someone is afraid of men, and that person would be called androphobic. Again, remove phobia. Andro means men, phobic means afraid of or persistent fear of, right? So abnormal and persistent fear of men. Moving on, placophobia. Placophobia. It means irrational fear for tombstones. Tombstones. Okay. So placophobia, irrational fear for tombstones. Okay. Moving on, astrophobia. Now these are the easy ones. So if you remove phobia, this is astro, this is phobia. Now you know phobia is a persistent fear, right? And now astro can be astrology, right? Astro is something related to universe, cosmos, right? So now you see the four options, and it will surely click you if you know the trick to break these words down, and if you know the root word, which is astro here, and meaning of phobia, mania, whatever, right? So astrophobia is fear of celestial objects or things surrounding it, right? Moving on, anthophobia is fear of flowers. Anthophobia. Brontophobia, also known as astrophobia or keranophobia, I'm sorry, keranophobia or tonitophobia, astrophobia or keranophobia or brontophobia is an abnormal fear of thunder and lightning. Okay, moving on. Well, arachnophobia, arachnophobia is unreasonable fear of spiders and other uh, arachnids such as scorpions, right? So arachnophobia. Moving on, clinophobia. Clinophobia is the fear of beds or going to bed. Okay, so clinophobia, fear of beds or going to bed. So people with this phobia might experience insomnia, sleepwalking, and bedwetting. Things like insomnia, sleepwalking, and bedwetting. So these people are afraid of going to bed. And the word is clinophobia. The picture depicts it very clearly here. Moving on, gynophobia. I'm sorry, gynophobia. Again, break it down. Phobia, gyno. Now, gyno is women. So if you use this root word, let's say gynecologist, right? So gynecologist is a doctor specializing in diseases related to women, right? So gynophobia, it means intense and persistent fear of women. Okay, intense and persistent fear of women. Moving on, monophobia. Again, I will suggest that you break this down, and this will ease up the learning and also aid your understanding. So monophobia, mono means single, right? Mono means single, phobia means fear. So a fear or dread of being left alone. So it is also called autophobia, isolophobia, or eramophobia. Okay, so it is the specific phobia of isolation, a morbid fear of being egotistical, right? So in such kind of phobia, you are afraid that you'll be left alone, not just physically but also left alone, as in socially, or if there is a group of people, you'll be left alone and they will have their own thing going on, but you'll be left alone. So this is the kind of phobia, monophobia, a dread of being left alone. Moving on, ochlophobia. Ochlophobia, OCHLO, ochlophobia. Ochlophobia is fear of being engulfed by a crowd or being surrounded by, I'm sorry, this is being, or being surrounded by people. So it basically means you are afraid of being surrounded by people. So let's say you are somewhere here and now you're surrounded by people and you're ochlophobic. Tough time for you. Moving on, gallophobia, GALLO, gallophobia. It means excessive fear of France or anything having to do with France, including its luggage, its language. I'm so sorry, including its language and culture. So excessive fear of France or anything having to do with France, including its language and culture. Gallophobia. Okay. Moving on. Ophidophobia. OPHIDIO. Ophidophobia. It is the abnormal fear of snakes. So OPHIDIO. Ophidophobia. The abnormal fear of snakes. Moving on. Tapophobia. TAPO. Tapophobia. It means the irrational fear of being buried alive. Okay. So it is closely related to other phobias such as fear of death, which is thanatophobia, fear of death, fear of tombstones, which we just did, placophobia, placo, whatever. So placophobia, whatever. Fear of cemeteries. Cemeteries is basically that thing only where people are buried. So this, which is called coimetrophobia, fear of tight and enclosed places, which is claustrophobia, obviously. So pause the video for a second, write all of these down at the same place, so all of this just connects up, and then you'll be able to retain it more clearly. Moving on, nyctophobia, NYCTO, nyctophobia is extreme or irrational fear of night or of darkness. Okay, so this is basically nyctophobia, fear of the dark. Moving on, tachophobia, TACHO, tachophobia. Tachophobia is fear of speed or fear of doing something too fast. Okay, tachophobia. Moving on, scop, scophobia. Scophobia. It means a morbid fear of being seen or stared at by others. So you have a fear that everyone is watching you while no one is really watching you. No one is even concerned or has the time to watch you or something, but you have a morbid fear of being seen or stared by others, right? Next is mysophobia. Mysophobia. Okay, it's the pathological fear of contamination and germs. So you are constantly afraid that you'll be contaminated by some germ, and you keep washing your hands, you keep cleaning things around you. It is also known as verminophobia, or germophobia, or germophobia. Okay, so germophobia, verminophobia, bacillophobia, and bacteriophobia. Okay, almost sound the same. Okay, bacteria, germ, vermi, bacillo. Okay, so mysophobia, basically the pathological fear of contamination and germs. Moving on, and this one is a fairly known phobia to all. Try, SKAIDEKA. Okay, this can also come as a question where they will ask you to point out the right spelling of the word. So TRISKAIDEKA phobia. So triskaidekaphobia, right? Triskaidekaphobia, right? So it is the fear of number 13. Now again, just something for you to remember related to this. It is also the reason, this phobia, it is also the reason for the fear of Friday the 13th, also called as Paraskevidikatriaphobia. Okay, you don't need to remember all these names at all, but just something for you to remember. Moving on, Thamatophobia, THAMATO phobia, Thamatophobia. It means it is a fear of death. Next is Aerophobia, Aerophobia. It means extreme or irrational fear of cats. Cats. Okay. Next is Cynophobia, Cynophobia. Cynophobia, it is the fear of dogs. So okay, so in this you're afraid of dogs, in this one you're afraid of cats. Moving on. Next phobia is Atychiphobia, Atychi phobia. It means fear of failing. So you're afraid that you will fail, and out of this fear, many a times you don't start doing something or you don't take up something new because you're afraid, because there is a risk of failing. So you're afraid that you will fail and you don't even do that thing. So atychiphobia. Moving on. Glossophobia is fear of speaking in public. Glossophobia is fear of speaking in public. Moving on. Xenophobia. Xenophobia. It means fear of strangers or foreigners, or something which is of foreign culture or foreign language. Okay. So xenophobia. Moving on. Megalophobia. Megalo means something very big, right? So megalophobia is fear of large things. Fear of large thing is called megalophobia. Moving on, trypanophobia. Trypanophobia. Trypanophobia is fear of needles or injections. Trypanophobia, fear of injections or needles. Next is philophobia. Philophobia. It is the fear of falling in love and emotional attachment. Okay, so philophobia. Moving on, herpetophobia. It means fear of reptiles. Okay, fear of reptiles. Herpetophobia. Moving on, next one is pluviophobia or ombrophobia. So ombrophobia or pluviophobia, it is the fear of rain. So you are afraid of the rain, right? Moving on, latrophobia. Latrophobia is the fear of doctors. This is something which many of us can relate to. So latrophobia, it means fear of doctors. Moving on, necrophobia is fear of death or dead things. So we also covered a fear of death in the previous slides. Now this one is a new one, necrophobia, fear of death or dead things. Moving on, now we'll discuss some manias. Manias are basically excessive enthusiasm or desire for something. These are basically obsessions. You're obsessed with something. So we discussed phobias. Now we'll move on to manias. First one is xenomania. Now we had covered xenophobia, right? So xeno means something foreign. So xenomania means inordinate attachment to foreign things. Okay, inordinate attachment to foreign things, and xenophobia was a fear of foreign things, foreign culture, foreign language, whatever, right? Moving on, uh, agromania is an intense desire to be alone or out in the open, right? So an intense desire to be alone or out in the open, agromania. Moving on, ablutomania, a morbid preoccupation with thoughts about cleanliness, obsession with bathing, washing, etc. So You are obsessed with keeping yourselves clean, your surroundings clean, and this is called ablutomania. Okay, moving on, moving on, anthomania. Now we had also covered anthophobia, right? Anthophobia was fear of flowers. Anthomania is the opposite, that is extravagant passion for flowers. Next, pyromania. Pyromania is an obsessive desire to set fire to things. Okay, pyromania. And if I remove mania and just keep it phobia, it would be a fear of uh, fire, which is pyro here. Pyro is the root word. Okay, so pyromania. Moving on, dacnomania is DACNO. Dacnomania is an excessive or unbridled enthusiasm for killing others. Next is choreomania. If you break this down, choreomania. Now choreo can be, if you have the options, it might click. Choreo could be something related to dance. You know the meaning of mania. So madness for dancing. Now also called as the dancing mania. Now this is just something extra fact related to this. So dancing mania, it was a social phenomena that occurred primarily in mainland Europe between the 14th and the 17th century. It involved groups of people dancing erratically. So I just included this because I found it interesting while I was reading these words up. So dancing mania, in this people used to just dance around erratically, and this was an obsession. Okay, so pretty weird. Anyway, moving on. Next word is dipsomania. Dipsomania is nothing but alcoholism. Okay, specifically in a form characterized by intermittent bouts of craving for alcohol. So they you have bouts in which you crave for alcohol excessively. It is also called potomania or methomania. Okay, metho or potomania. Right, moving on. Erotomania is excessive sexual desire. Erotomania. Moving on. Megalomania, we saw megalophobia, right? So now this is megalomania. It means obsession with exercise of power. Obsession with exercise of power. Moving on. Mythomania. Now if you break this down again, remove mania and also remove this O, you have myth. Okay, a myth is a story, right? So if you see something in the options like this, an abnormal or pathological tendency to exaggerate or tell lies, right? Now, so for example, this person here caught a fish. The size of the fish was this much, but he exaggerated the story and told ki, no, I caught this big fish. Okay, so this is mythomania, an abnormal or pathological tendency to exaggerate or tell lies. Moving on, bibliomania is passionate enthusiasm for collecting and possessing books. Bibliomania. Next, we have ergomania, ERGO-mania. Now, the first one was agromania. This one is different. Ergomania, ERGO-mania, an obsession with exercise or work. So you're obsessed to work or exercise, right? So ergomania. Moving on, drapetomania. Drapetomania is an overwhelming urge to run away. Okay, so an overwhelming urge to run away from home or from a bad situation or from a position of responsibility. You have an urge to run away from that or escape. Next is plutomania. So you might have also heard plutocracy, right? So plutomania is excessive or abnormal desire for wealth. So do not Google this up if you know it already very well. But you know what plutocracy is, right? And now you know the meaning of plutomania. So I want you to write down the meaning of plutocracy in the comment section below using the trick I told you. The trick whereby you remove this word and you just use the root word. Okay, so plutocracy, right? So if I make the word plutocracy from it, and now you know the meaning of plutomania, tell me the meaning of plutocracy in the comment section below. Moving on. Toxicomania. Toxicomania. It means morbid carving or an insane desire for poisonous or intoxicating substances. Toxicomania. Next is these are close, so I wrote them down in one slide only. Aphrodisiomania, Aphrodisomania, right? Or nymphomania. These are basically abnormal sexual interest or excessive sexual desires. Okay, moving on. Catapidamania, cata, cata. Catapedamania. Catapedamania. It means obsession with jumping from high places. Obsession with jumping from high places. Moving on. Sophomania. Sophomania is a delusion that one is incredibly intelligent. So if I have an illusion that I am all knowledgeable, I don't need to learn anything from anyone, and this turns up to be a mania. So I'll be called a sophomaniac, right? So a delusion whereby one is incredibly intelligent, where one thinks that he is intelligent. Moving on. Phagomania. Phago, phagomania, an excessive desire for food or eating, right? Phagomania. Next is timbromania, Timbromania, timbromania. It is craze for stamp collecting, also called as stampomania, stampomania. Now, related fact is philately. Now, you must all be knowing what philately is, but anyway, tell it. So, philately is the study of stamps and postal history and other related items. It also refers to the collection, appreciation, and research activities on stamps and other philatelic products. Okay, moving on. Phaneromania. It means a habit of biting one's nails. So, phaneromania. Next is hydromania. Hydromania is irrational carving for water. Okay. I'm so sorry, irrational craving for water. So hydromania is irrational craving for water. So this is the end of the video. I hope you gained some knowledge from the video. I hope it was a knowledgeable journey for you. Now if you like this content and if you want more such content, or you have some suggestion or some request or something, just put it down in the comment section below. And if you like this content, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. And thank you so much for joining in.